Thor here. I'll let you know how that drink tastes when it's done straining. That's going to take a few hours and I'm running out of daylight. So moving on, I'm going to be dealing with a cassette toilet today, or otherwise known as like a porta potty cassette toilet, regardless of what you want to call them. Now I've had issues with mine in the past getting very smelly, and I figured out a way to deal with it when you use it, but if I have to leave the boat for a few days for whatever reason, I come back and that toilet will have the whole boat stunk up. So what I'm going to be doing is adding a vent, and this video will kind of show you what I'm going to do. So this is my cassette toilet, and I'll show you what kind of happens without showing you the actual nasty. So what happens is these build up in pressure. When they build up in pressure, it has to go somewhere. Eventually, it leaks out once enough pressure is built up, and it gets everywhere, and it makes a terrible smell, which I'm currently smelling at the moment. Venting a cassette toilet is fairly easy. I'm going to be doing mine on my boat, however this could be applied to a RV, camper, teeny home, shed, van, or anywhere you might leave a in-use cassette toilet. Everything I used was 1/2 inch because the smallest through-hole fitting I could get was 1/2 inch. I used a grommet and pipe thread barb adapter to create a sealed opening in the holding tank that I could attach the vent pipe to. It is important to make sure to put the vent at the top of the tank where it will not interfere with anything. It is also ideal to attach the vent near the carrying handle of the tank so that way it doesn't flood when you lift the tank by hand. However, even if it floods, it is fine as long as you close the vent valve. Location will be a bit different depending on the design of your cassette toilet. Make sure when drilling the hole for the grommet that you do not go too big. The grommet needs to fit tightly so when you push the threaded barb adapter through it, it will expand the grommet, creating a seal. It is important to use some kind of sealant on the grommet and threaded adapter. I chose marine grade sealant simply because that is what I had available, and it should work just fine. Make sure to use it generously. Once the vent opening is made and the grommet and pipe adapter are installed on the tank, you will need to cut a short piece of the venting pipe and install a hand valve so that you can close the vent for when you need to take the tank out to be dumped. Connect the venting pipe to the newly installed vent and check to make sure it clears everything. The toilet is basically done with its modification. You may also consider using a pipe clamp. Next, I had to drill a hole outside for the exit vent. It is important that the hole is drilled above the holding tank to prevent accidental siphoning, although it is not likely to siphon much, if at all, if you choose not to. If you are doing this on a boat, make sure to put the vent above the listing water line. This is generally fairly easy to identify if there are other through holes nearby. Generally, I would not recommend putting through holes as close together as I did on my boat. However, after talking to several professional boat designers, the location I chose is easily able to handle these through holes being so close together without compromising the integrity of the hole. Generally though, I would recommend putting through holes at least 1 feet apart from each other to prevent spider cracking. If for some reason these holes do become a problem, I will replace these vents with one large long rectangular vent, but I highly doubt that will ever be a problem. Next, you will need to run the exit vent hose to the through hole and connect the vent pipe to the toilet. The last part is optional, but you can install a exit vent valve as well and connect the two sides with a small hose. I did this just in case the toilet overflows to reduce the mess it can create by being able to shut off both valves and thus only having to clean up a small section of pipe instead of the whole pipe. It is important to note that a full tank that is fermenting will push waste up the vent pipe and can make a mess if not addressed properly. Knowing Murphy's Law, I chose not to take the risk. Overall, this job took me about an hour to do, and it is fairly easy to accomplish. I hope this video helps someone out there, and if it does, feel free to hit that like button. Alrighty, so we're back, and now you can see this is the vent that goes into the toilet. This guy here is the vent that goes outside. So, give that a little wrap to keep water out. Plug the two together, and last but not least, open up that vent. And now, I don't have to deal with the smell in my toilet no more. Simple as that. Thor here. I hope that video was somehow helpful to someone out there, and you can definitely learn a little bit from the average struggle of somebody who's got a toilet on a boat. Sometimes dealing with that smell can really consume you, but getting back to the good stuff. So I finished that drink. And this is some of the best tea I have ever had in my life. So until next time, this is Thor, signing out.